What's going on, everybody? PJ here at Anytime Fitness in Palestine, Texas. I'm real excited about Lift the Stigma meet, but I'm also a personal trainer. I happen to power lift, but my main love is personal training and getting people into the gym. I was once a new guy in the gym. I started kind of late in life and getting a membership and everything. Walking into the gym, having no idea what to do was a scary place. Of course, I went to YouTube and Google, tried to figure it all out, and that's why we're here today. I'm going to do a welcome to the gym, how to get set up and feel comfortable with this video. Hopefully, if you came into our gym here and worked on some of these machines, you would know how to make them fit for you, select the proper weight, and get a good full body workout in about an hour. So let's get going. Let's take our pre and let's get lifted. We're going to start today with legs. We're going to do a compound, then an accessory. Then we're going to move on to a pull movement, kind of a back movement. Then we'll go an accessory with that. And then we'll end the day with a push and then a push accessory to complement that. All of these should be able to do pretty easily. Light weight, perfect workout for a beginner. All right, seated leg curl. This one, we're going to adjust the back pad with this lever here. We want to get it to where our back's nice and comfortable. Ideally, our knees are going to line up with this dot here. This is going to be our pivot point right here. So our knees are going to line up here like so. We're going to select the length of this pad. It's going to correlate where it goes on the back of the leg here. I want it right about in here. It's going to be a nice grip for it. So, and then this lever here is going to sway this up and down to establish our range of motion, how far up it's going to come. All right, we're going to set my height, set my weight with the pin here. Got my warm-up weight here. So first time getting into the machine, I want to select a nice light weight to establish what I'm doing with the movement. Most important thing here is going to put this on top of my legs. I'm going to lower that down, pushing myself nice and secure to where there's no wiggle room. I'm not crushing my knees, but I am pretty good on top. This is going to help me get nice and set. And then I'm going to treat my hamstring like a bicep curl. Good squeeze. And here's that stretch. Bringing those heels straight back down towards me. Squeeze and stretch. You should have a nice light weight to establish what you're doing. Your point A to point B, and then your B back to A with the rep. Flex, stretch. Feel what's going on. Bonus points to keep these plates from touching. That's going to keep tension in the intended muscle. You'll hear lots of times, time under tension. This is what it's referring to. Allowing that muscle to remain tense under the weight. Once you establish your warm-up sets, you'll find your work and set weight. I like to tell people 3 sets of 10, easy to remember. Find a weight by about reps 6 to 7 where you kind of want to stop, but just keep pushing through. You don't want to kill yourself on the first couple, but definitely leave 1 to 2 in the tank, then move on to the next one. So what we got here is the leg press. This one's going to be really fun. What I want you to really take away from is building this from the foot up. The foot up. The feet are going to be pretty much the most important part of any leg compound movement. It's going to be your stability. This is going to be what you build everything from. I can't stress that enough. Have you ever stood on top of a Coke can and been able to balance and have your body weight? It's because everything's nice and built and it's rigid in that Coke can. The minute that little bit gives, everything crumbles. I like to think of our feet as Coke cans. I bring that up. You got the balls of your feet. You got your big toe, your pinky, and then your heel. Tripod. Tripods are pretty strong. They're pretty stout. You can put a lot of weight on it. That's what I'm trying to do with my feet. Nice foundation to build a push from. I'm going to push through the heels and the balls of my foot through the whole foot. I'm not going to be too in with my feet. I'm not going to be too out with my feet. I'm going to think of my foot as a whole, and we're pushing like so. A good, solid, strong push. Now, Range of motion time. What we want to do is establish a good starting point. A good starting point, you say? Well, when I come down, I don't want my butt to wiggle out or get up under me. They call that butt wink. And I don't want my feet to come up out of the platform. The biggest mistake you'll see is people coming up into their toes. I want to wiggle myself into the chair, nice and stern. I'm going to hold on to these handles, keeping my butt down and into the pad down here and back here. My back's up against this pad. I'm pretty much locked and ready to go. We're just going to push the floor away. Don't lock your knees. Don't lock your knees. Please don't lock your knees. Go all the way back down to your starting point. Right, keeping the tension with the plates. Push. Now I'm going to feel the quads, hamstrings all engaged, glutes. Pushing through the whole foot. Bracing the core. 360. Think about it. If someone was going to sneak up behind you and get you.
What?
You'd be able to brace from any angle. Alright. Couple of warm-up sets there. Find your heavy and push it through the whole foot. Alright. So for our pull movement, I've selected the rear delt row here. Boom. I like this one because we have handles we can use. The lower one here is going to hit our lats, kind of right through here. This upper handle is going to hit our rear delts and our upper back. And yeah, all in one machine. It's easy. This is going to be our chest support here, how long of a stretch we're going to be able to get. This is going to be how high we are to the pole and how far back we can get our elbows and where our elbows are going to be and adjacent to the machine and everything like that. It's going to be this handle here. Now, when I grab these lower handles, I like the seat kind of a little bit higher, kind of right in the middle here. This is going to allow for those lats to be kind of get engaged right through here. I'm going to support my chest. I'm going to have my hips kind of right behind my back a little bit. I'm going to grab onto these handles. I'm going to try and think to myself, keep that chest nice and big. Nice and big. We're supported. We're not going to cave in like a scared little turtle. We're proud to be in the gym. We're going to pull these elbows back with our back. Good stretch. Pull the elbows back. Good stretch coming back. Now, we're not on the Harvard rowing team. We shouldn't have our back coming back and going with us. This is why we have the chest support. So we can row into our chest using our back. Row into the row. That's why we have our hips back a little bit further than our back. So we can really get that good stretch in that good row. Okie dokie. That's going to be targeting our lower lats with that setup. We're going to hit our rear delts by lowering this down. And I'm going to grab onto these handles up here. But I'm going to do something a little bit different with my elbows. Rather than rowing down here, we're going to be up about here. And we're going to target back through here a little bit. This is what those rows are going to look like. Again, we're going to row into our chest. That's going to allow that good stretch. We're going to pull with the back. Drawing those elbows back with us. Good stretch. Good pull. Good stretch. Keeping that chest up. Keep that chin up. And that's the rear delts. That's going to help build that 3D effect. It's going to help get the taper. It's just a good movement. Get a good foundation for pressing. Doing. All right. So we've done our pull movement, our big compound. We can alternate from the different grips. I would do one set pull like this, one set pull like that. It's a really fun one. Now that we've got everything kind of warmed up, we're going to go right into a bicep. It's going to be a really fun one, bicep curl with dumbbells. How we're going to do those is we're going to kind of palm them like so. Good stretch all the way down. And then we're just going to flex that bicep, This should bring the hands all the way up towards us. Flex, stretch. What I'm trying to do is think about bringing this part of my hand in line with everything right there. I'm kind of putting all the weight into that part. And then it's just a straight line for a curl. My bicep and everything's in line. Flex, stretch. Flex, stretch. All about the alignment. And we do that with both arms. All the way up. Flex. You'll see a lot of cheat curls or disco curls where people will put the whole body into them. That's alright at the end of a good heavy set, but you don't want every rep to look like that. Nice, good, solid, smooth, thoughtful reps. Those are going to yield you the best gains. Pumping. Yeah. You can have fun with those. I like to go all kinds of rep ranges, anywhere from 8 reps to 25 reps. It's just all about that mind-muscle connection. Finding the flex, finding the stretch. We've done lats, we've done rear delts, we've done biceps. Everything should be feeling really good. Now we're going to get into our push movement. I'm going to use this shoulder movement here. This machine's awesome. It's going to really get the side of our shoulders here. And if you remember, we hit rear delts, and that's going to help us with that Dorito shape, that taper. This is also going to widen that frame to where we get that classic shape. We're going to do these sets and reps by moving the elbows and the wrist out away from us. It's abduction, adduction. We're taking away, we're pushing it away from us. All right, so we're going to set up the butt pad here, nice kind of low, to where these dots, these pivot points are kind of lined up right in here. I'm going to align these with these and these. I've got handles here. I'm going to pay attention to my hips. I'm going to keep my hips back, chest into the pad. I'm going to look forward, bring them up, bring them down. There you go. And we'll add weight. We've got our shoulders warmed up. Got everything. We should be feeling really good by now. This is going to be our chest press. This is going to target our pecs. We're going to get some triceps. We're going to get some shoulders involved in this movement with this machine. There's a whole bunch of settings here. First one I like to address is going to be how high we're going to set in this machine. I like to align this part with my chest about right here. I feel the best flex and stretch of the muscles with it right about there. So I'm going to use this pad to get my chest in line with that bar. Number 5 seems to be pretty good for me. Puts it right there where I feel pretty good and solid in here. This next one will determine how far away or close this starting point is. This one's going to be kind of at its furthest setting, and then we've got it at its lowest setting, all by squeezing this handle. Don't squeeze this while you're doing your reps. This is just going to set it in place. We've got it set. Of course, we've got our weight selectors here. Top dials gives you 5 points, or 5 pounds. This pin's going to dictate how much heavier the plates go. We're going to wedge yourself in. Feet placement, I'm going to plant my feet into the ground here, and I'm going to try and scoot the floor towards the wall in front of me. I'm not going to try and push down. I'm going to scoot away. This is going to hold myself back into this back pad where I can take our shoulders, kind of wiggle myself in, and I'm going to build a nice foundation. I've kind of put my shoulder blades back behind me in my back, kind of wiggled them in, thinking about putting them into my back pockets here. This has built a big chest to push from. I'm going to wiggle my arms under here, stack the joints like we did with the leg press, only instead of my ankles, it's my wrist, my elbow. They're going to be in line. I don't want to be pressing like that. I don't want to be pressing with my wrist out like that. Nice, solid, boxed in tight frame. Wiggle in, set my feet, my butt's in and back. down and back. And we're gonna perform our reps by flexing, pushing, and here comes that stretch coming back down. I'm driving through and I'm stretching back down. Now, what I don't want to do is go all the way to where I've locked out my joints. That's gonna hurt over time. Those ligaments and joints and elbow things, they don't like that. And then I'm not gonna let the plate stop because then I've taken the tension off my muscles. So, nice, smooth reps here. Big chest, push out. You don't want to go all the way where you start caving in, and then you don't want to be pushing with a weak chest. You want everything nice, big, and proud. So, that's the chest press. Find your warm-up, establish the intent, then kind of push it. 3 to 4 sets, 8 to 10 reps. We're going to end the day with core, abs. We want the washboard, we want the six-pack, we want the, hey, look at those. We're going to get those by learning how to use this machine. I like to have my hips and everything kind of right up against this back pad here. I'm going to try and put this part right up against this part here. And I'm going to do that by using this lever here and adjusting the height like so. Feels pretty good there. I'm going to wiggle myself in. Now I'm going to bring my arms up. I'm going to apply pressure to my triceps on these pads. I'm going to grab on here. Scoop my legs together, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring the core towards the ground and stretch it up. We're going to flex it towards the ground and flex it up, stretch it up. Think of it like an accordion. You're bringing it in and it stretches. It comes together and it stretches. So when we come in, we're utilizing our core to flex those abs together. Think of them crunching, think of them flexing, and then when we come up, we're stretching, we're elongating, we're making them long. Good stretch, good flex. Crunch, stretch. That's why they're called crunches. So, we wiggled in, I got my feet nice and planted, my back's up against this pad. We're gonna crunch, stretch, crunch, stretch. Don't let those plates touch. That's gonna keep that tension on those abs. Really just breathe in, keep them braced, keep them stretched, flexed, stretch. Now, each person's going to be different on how many reps and stuff they can do with this one. I like to just tell 3 to 4 sets of you know when to stop on these. You'll feel them. It's going to be a good sensation, but for a good day of lifting, this is a nice way to kind of end it. Good old core. So, hopefully, you'll feel nice and pumped. And, yeah. Alright, we just completed a pretty good beginner workout. We addressed our legs, we addressed the back, chest, a little bit of accessories. Hopefully we're feeling nice and pumped and ready to hit the next day of lifting. If you have any questions, you can always come talk to us here at any time. And be sure to check out the description where we'll have a link to where you can follow along and work out and do this workout we just did today. Kind of push yourself, really establish your warm-up sets, establish what you're doing with the reps, get your mind to the muscle, and kind of, get a logbook or get a trainer, and then you can track your progress with each movement. Have fun, be safe, and let's get a lift in sometimes. Sometimes. We'll get a lift in. It's like when you walk into a gym and the staff tells you have a good workout and you just want to tell them you too. Like they'll eventually work out. It's nice to hear that. I appreciate it. You don't feel bad. Don't feel embarrassed when you tell us you too. It's good. It's good. Like a wait staff. The waiter's going to eat again. Tell them you too. Enjoy your meal. You too. Just don't listen to the band.